All right, welcome back, Inebri-arts. This is Andy of the Inebri-art podcast. We have all of a sudden moved, changed locations. We were at the craft beer cellar. That doesn't make sense unless you listen to the last episode. And if you're in Plymouth and you're looking for beer, stop by on Main Street, see Tatum, get some craft beer, boutique wine, CBD drinks, all sorts of cool stuff. And we have brought in kind of like the talk of the town lately. The new restaurant has opened. Nikki from Los Jefes.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. So, Los Jefes started as like it was never a food truck, right? It was like a pop-up thing?
Correct.
So how did you get involved in the restaurant industry? Has that been something you've always done, or?
Yeah, actually, my husband and I met actually 15 years ago, working in a restaurant in Atlanta. He was a cook and I was a waitress. So we've always been like a part of the
in the industry
world,
yeah.
Right? But I've been cooking since I was 8
Nice.
years old. Yeah, my grandmother taught me how to bake when I was 8.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a chef, and then I got to be about 12 or 13, and I pretty much had to make all my meals, and then I kind of lost like some of the fun, like when I had to do it.
Yeah.
But it's something I still really enjoy. So was it, because it's not bakery, like at what point did you switch from baking to?
I don't know. I guess because actually a couple of years ago I was baking. I had an online baking business, and you could order cookies and breads online.
So
I had a cookie in the month. Yeah. But I mean, I've always been interested in food. Period.
Yeah.
Like every moment of my life can be traced back to something I ate.
You know, it's funny. I find it weird when people are like, you meet those people that eat because they have to, like, where they. I
have one friend like that, and
I just feel like it loses so much enjoyment. Like,
it really does.
What is it about food, do you think, that makes it so? Maybe it's an introvert type thing. Is your friend an introvert?
Very much so. Because
I feel like the fun part about cooking and eating is the social aspect.
Right? Absolutely.
Is there like a time in your young life, childhood, that was your family always like around the kitchen, that kind of thing, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like every, I think, family gathering ended up in the kitchen, or the majority of the people ended up in the kitchen.
All the good parties.
All the good parties are in the kitchen. Even in our house now, well, not so much now because we don't. Because you're never entertain.
At home. You just open a business.
Right,
you're not at home.
No, we don't entertain at home, but we don't even like cook our own meals at home anymore. But yeah, even at our home, like, we can get the rest of the house ready for a gathering, and then everybody will just be in the kitchen. But that's where the fun is. Like, that's where
the action is.
Right. That's where we're making drinks and making food. And
I actually used to have a friend who had a shop up the street from here, and it was a kitchen design studio. So it was like a whole store that was nothing but kitchen, and she would host a party during the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Oh, nice.
And it was great. And I'm like, you should rent this out for parties all the time, because it's like the whole thing's kitchen.
Right.
And that's where everyone hangs out. I always thought it would be cool.
Yeah, that's genius.
Note
to self.
So tell us about Los Jefes. Like, what is it? Obviously, it's tacos.
Yeah. Los Jefes, first of all, is Spanish for the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband and I, Eduardo, we started out as a pop-up, doing pop-ups at local breweries, farmers markets, traveling around, fairs, food truck events, anything that we could get our butts into, we did. And then my cousin got hip to a deal on a good restaurant space, and he was like, I want to buy this restaurant, but I don't have, a concept or any idea about the back end. And we're like, well, we want a restaurant and we have the following and the concept. So that's how it became to be.
It seems like in the past decade that tacos have become like there's taco trucks and
The new pizza.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why? Like, what is? I mean, I know why tacos are amazing, but like, what was the catalyst behind it?
The catalyst behind tacos becoming the biggest trend in food, I have no idea, really, other than it's an amazing food.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing handheld food. When you think about it, like you can do anything with tacos. In Mexico, my husband grew up eating everything with tortillas on the table.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like...
So no matter what it was?
No matter what it was, you had warm tortillas. Like we would have bread.
Yeah.
He would have warm tortillas. So you roll them up and you put whatever in it, or you just use it to scoop things up.
They're great with breakfast, man. Like I
know. They're great with anything. We still haven't gotten breakfast down as a married couple yet. So he's always like, "Where's the tortillas?" I'm like, "Oh."
So is he kind of who does the lion's share of the coming up with the dishes? Is he the? So
okay.
I mean, you're both the bosses. I get it.
Well, that's what
you tell him.
he okay. So I think I came up with the majority of the combinations, only because in Mexico, tacos are pretty simple in that they're like the meat. Like if he were going to go to a taqueria, he'd get, carnitas with onions and cilantro, and whatever hot sauce, and that's it. So coming up with combinations was kind of my thing, I think. And we call it like American Mexican, just because the idea is there for tacos, and it is an authentic tortilla, and it is, we make carnitas the way you would make carnitas in Mexico, and we would make al pastor the way you'd make it in Mexico, but we serve it a little differently.
Yeah.
It's a little more hearty. It's a little bigger than a street taco. But the combinations are definitely something that I came up with.
You guys have been open how long now? Maybe 2 months? Or am I like
9 weeks?
9 weeks.
9
wow.
weeks.
So
we opened May 21st or May 22nd.
And how's the reception been? Because like you said, you had a following heading into this.
The reception's been pretty amazing so far. I mean, we had a pretty good following that was waiting for us to open the doors. And then the word of mouth has been amazing. Like someone's always coming in and saying that they heard it from so-and-so to come in here and try us, or they saw us on Facebook and so-and-so recommended them, and blah, blah, blah. So the word of mouth has really been big.
And was Plymouth kind of like where you wanted to, or did that just happen?
That's always been my dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Because everyone here doesn't work together. No one's nice here in Plymouth.
Really?
I gush about Plymouth all the time.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that's the...
Are you kidding? I just walked into a place and been like, Tatum, we're recording downstairs. She's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, like everybody is really receptive, and other restaurant owners, other chefs, they've been really receptive as well. And we get a lot of people from around town that have businesses and have restaurants here in this town that come in and eat at our restaurant as well. So
and you guys are a little further down. Like you're not in the
we're not in
heart of the town.
No.
You're in North Plymouth.
We are across from the new Plymouth station. So
well, I think once they kind of get that whole Cordish Park thing sorted out, I think that's going to be a hopping place down there.
Yeah, there's the first wave of move-ins is supposed to be for the condos is supposed to be in September.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so and then there's 2 more buildings, I believe, that are slated to go up.
Really? And you're in, my boss calls it the green zone for those places.
What is the green zone?
Meaning you can get trashed and walk home.
Oh, yes, the green zone.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We were there 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago-ish. And I was checking, first of all, amazing food. I had short rib tacos.
Nice.
And what was the other one? I had 2 short ribs and... Is there chicken?
There is definitely a chicken.
I think I had the chicken. I'm trying to remember now. My memory's terrible. But we were also checking out the drink selection. And there's a lot of custom drinks on the menu.
Yeah.
So is that you or your husband who comes up with those?
It was all 3 of us, actually. It was me, my husband,
and your cousin?
And my cousin Mike. Yeah, Mike Grant. Yep.
Nice.
So, yeah, he had some beautiful rum cocktails, and we came up with some mezcal cocktails and margaritas.
We were reading it, and we were on our way to an event, so we were careful. But I was reading it, and I'm like, I could walk here.
Right?
It's far from me, but I could definitely do it.
So today's... so we switched over the El Camaleon, which is a changing margarita. And this one...
Is that a chameleon?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. I got a D in high school Spanish. That's right.
That one's not too hard to figure out. But
don't take that away from me.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Congratulations. It's very nice. So it's ever changing, and this month is what is it? Watermelon.
Yeah.
We just changed it over, and it is delicious.
Now, do you guys have a plan to change out the menu a lot, or are you gonna...
Yeah, so we'll be changing the menu this fall. Like, this was our opening, kind of like get our feet wet, establish a kind of groove menu, and it is limited, but we wanted to keep it small and do everything really well. Like, our fear, well, I shouldn't say fear, but one of the things that I don't want to happen is to get like such a big menu where you kind of get lost in it, or
it's the way to do it. I mean, I'd rather go in someplace and have 3 options that are amazing, opposed to 50 options that are okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So there are some places out there where you go and you're like, there's 3 pages of menu, and you're like, you always pick the same thing every time you go.
Because you get overloaded with options.
Right. You get overloaded with options, and then that one time that you pick that you go out of the box and you pick that one thing, you're like, oh, that wasn't that great. So then you go back to...
And it's the one thing that no one ever picks.
Right. Then you go back to it,
Yeah.
So, like, I like to think that everything on our menu is something that you can try and be like, oh my God, that was amazing. And then you, like, come back and do something else and be like, oh my God, that was amazing.
What was, like, the one big surprise in opening the restaurant that you're like, oh, I'll give you the perfect example, and I don't mind calling out Carl because I love Carl.
Okay.
Edit that out. I don't love Carl. At the New World Tavern, they said that they were open. You worked so hard to get the restaurant open. They started seating tables, and as bills started to come in, they're like, change, right? We forgot to get change. And they had to send someone to the bank. So
that is one thing. I think we've run out of... I think there was a post about it, or someone complained on a Facebook group. Like, it was either in the Hockomock Supper Club or whatever.
Yeah.
But we ran out of ones, and the waitress was like, I can't get any ones right now, but she was like short $1 when she brought the person back her change, and she was like, is that okay? And
I gave him like 4 quarters or something.
Well, no, we didn't have any. We didn't even have any quarters. So, but instead of like the waitress coming to someone and being like, I don't have, being like, do you have 5 ones?
Because they're all new and they're like, I don't know what to do.
So the woman was like, she thought that there was something going on, and I had to like go on and be like, yeah, there's
those
absolutely
restaurants
nothing going on. I'm like,
stealing money from their customers $1 at a time.
$1 at a time. I'm like, yeah, it's nothing like that. It's just that if we didn't have the change, we didn't have it. But like, she could have said something to somebody else. But change is a big thing. I think for me, the biggest surprise is the workforce. Like, getting a good workforce.
This is a bad time to try and hire people.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's awful. And keeping people.
Yeah.
Like, it is
because
really
they jump ship all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
God.
Because they're like, that restaurant is so much more busy, and their staff seems happier. And then they go and they're like, "Oh, this is just like the same like other place."
Right?
Nikki,
It's a kitchen.
I miss you so much.
It's a kitchen. But I mean, it's hard. Like even the front of the house, back of the house, we're losing like 2 or 3 servers in the next couple of weeks just because they're going back to school.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, and then
Just break their hearts. Be like, you're not going to be a doctor.
Right.
You're going to be a waitress for the rest of your life. Just stay here.
Like, I went to school, man. I did all that. I still ended up being a waitress and bartending and whatever. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do, but...
What's your favorite job to do there?
Well, what's my favorite job to do?
Yeah. I mean, you're an owner, so you do everything. There has to be, like, do you like to work in the kitchen? Do you like to work at the bar? Do you like to wait tables?
I think one of my...
Do you like paperwork?
God, no. Although I'm really good at logistical things, that's one of my strong suits. What I do love the most that I don't get to do very often now that I'm in the kitchen most of the time is talking to people.
Yeah.
So, like, going around and talking to people because everybody's, like, very warm and receptive, and usually they're willing to let you know what they're
Do you wait until they have a mouthful of food?
No.
That's not like a plan?
I don't know. It's not an actual plan. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But, no, most of the time I catch people when they're clean plates so they can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you miss doing the pop-ups?
In the sense that I don't get to see everybody that I serve.
Yeah.
Yes. Because that was something that I did, and I think Eduardo did too, and Joy, was to be able to see everybody that walked up and hand a taco to. Like, you'd be able to have a conversation.
The little interaction.
Right, the little interaction is something that we miss.
She says that, and she's never waited on me during a pop-up. There was, I'm not going to mention who they were, because I'm probably a competitor. Okay, I'm not going to mention it because I can't remember who it was.
They sell tacos?
It was Mexican fare.
Okay.
And it was at Mayflower. And so,
was it arepas?
Yes, it was.
It was Donde Tiago.
Yes, yeah. I was literally just basing on the name. I was trying to like pass it off like I was being nice. Thanks for pointing out my failures.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Everyone else does. Like I know so many people in the restaurant business that I just love restaurant people, and I tend to easily give people a hard time and kind of forget when I don't know people. And so she took our order, and I was sitting just to her right. Mm-hmm. So she put like a little arrow, and I can't remember what she wrote. It was like over or something, like a note like where the order was going.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, did you just write old and draw an arrow to me? She's like, no. I'm like, you did. That's why. And I'm just messing with it. The rest of the night I felt kind of bad because I was really giving her a hard time. She didn't know who I was, but...
And she didn't know that you were giving her a hard time?
She kind of got it eventually, but me being me, I wouldn't let up, you know?
Yeah.
She'd bring him over and be like, oh, thanks for bringing the old guys a rape, you know? So, yeah, you got to give people a hard time. That's kind of what it's about.
Yeah.
So,
I give people a hard time.
Are you worried, looking well off into the future, that you're not going to be able... Like, are you ever worried about being stuck with Mexican fare? Or
No.
No? Like, if you were going to do, like, hey, I feel like doing chicken parm, I'm going to do chicken parm, or was it just like...
I mean, we do arancini, and... That's something that we do.
I don't even know that. What is that?
Oh, arancini is like
See, this is the part of the show where I get super hungry.
Right? It's a fried risotto ball. But we make the risotto with chorizo that my husband makes.
Yeah.
And then we stuff it with cheese.
Wait, like he makes the chorizo?
Oh, yeah, it's house-made chorizo. It's delicious, too.
Now I'm remembering. I had the chorizo taco. That's what I had. That was good. Now I'm trying to remember. Like, I'm like, oh, no, that was really good. I didn't know he house made it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. So I have no fear of ever getting pigeonholed to do one type of food.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. To me, like, all food is the same anyway. We all have the same thing, just with a different name.
Yeah.
Like, we all have flatbread with something on it, and we'd put it and toast it in the oven. We all have something that's wrapped up in dough and fried.
Some sort of beef thing.
Right. We all have
thing,
something, we all have some sort of fried dough. We all have some sort of meat-filled hand pie. We all have some, you know what I mean? It's just called a different name.
So what's the one thing that you feel hasn't really had its due? Like everybody loves tacos. Like arepa is kind of like catching on.
In the food
Did I even pronounce
world?
that right? Arepa? Did I get it? Okay. All right.
Arepa. Yep.
Like what is like the next taco, the next cilantro? Like what's
the next taco?
The Brad Pitt before he became Brad Pitt of food.
That's a good question.
Because I feel like everyone's always looking for like that kind of leg up over other restaurants, and
I don't think so. I think tacos is really culturally specific because when you think taco, you think Mexico.
Yeah.
But I think
you can fries. I'm seeing those everywhere now.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Like ever since, well, they're delicious.
Yeah, they are.
The first time I saw them on the menu was you had them, and they're on the menu at Blue Eyed Crab, which makes sense. And then I think we saw them at Luciosa's. Is that right?
Oh, really?
Which is kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, why not?
But right. It's a little out of
their
context
wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse, yeah.
It's not pizza and wings.
I mean, why not? I mean, they're delicious. Number one, and number two, it's
not a complicated thing.
No, but it's just another thing that you throw in the fryer, and it gets crispy and delicious, and you eat it.
You can fry everything.
You can just deep fry. I think the way food is now, like there's such a you have access to so many different things and so many different resources that it'll start to become one thing as opposed to one,
So as opposed to being like Mexican and Chinese and Caribbean, it's just going to be food.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Like if I had my way, that's what it would be.
Well, I feel like it's leaning that way because it's more and more this fusion of things, and it kind of muddies the water. And
right, people are doing more and more things. Like there are tacos on menus in restaurants that don't have anything to do with
everyone has fish tacos.
Tacos, right?
Everyone has fish tacos.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So,
what about cricket tacos?
Cricket tacos, yeah. What are crickets? I can't even think of the Spanish word right now for crickets. Chapulinas.
That's what I want. I want a cricket taco. I want someone to make a good cricket
taco.
I don't know why.
There's a place in Rhode Island
really
that makes cricket tacos. Yes. Chapulinas. I've never had them. My husband has had pretty much anything that you can think of in a taco. But
so is there like a standard, because I've grown up, lived almost my entire life in Massachusetts, so it's like my first exposure to tacos was school lunch and Taco Bell, and now it's like you said, everywhere has fish tacos, pulled pork tacos. What is a traditional taco, or is there such a thing?
Okay, so that's a really good question. I would say a traditional taco. If you were to go to Mexico and get a street taco, it would be a corn tortilla.
Crunchy or soft?
Soft.
Really?
But they do crunchy as well. They can fry them.
Yeah.
But
I prefer crunchy. But
it's because
I don't dislike soft.
But traditionally, I think it would be a soft corn tortilla filled with some sort of meat, either lengua or carnitas.
What's lengua?
Tongue.
Okay. Oh, I've had a tongue taco.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had that.
So, and it would be topped with onions, cilantro, and maybe some sort of salsa, some sort of hot salsa or mild salsa. It's a very savory experience. Whereas in the United States, things tend to be more sweet.
Yep.
My husband grew up in a very savory household. So when I have coffee when I have even sweets, like our sweets are way sweeter than his sweets.
Yeah.
Like
they're more like dark chocolates and that sort of thing? Or?
Yeah, it's just they use a lot less sugar.
Yeah.
In things. So, like, it'll be a very savory experience. Very acid, very salty, acid, heat, all that stuff would come into play. More so than when you get tacos here, or anything here really can be infused with something that really Americanizes it and makes it a little sweet. Like, we do a barbecue brisket taco. Our barbecue sauce is very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people love it, though.
Yeah.
It's one thing. And he wasn't really...
You just said barbecue brisket, and I'm like, oh.
he wasn't really keen on doing it at first, and now it's like one of the greatest tacos we've ever
You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. People love sweet barbecue sauce.
So... why is heat synonymous with Mexican food? Like, what is it about?
Like I said, they have a very savory, acid heat experience. Like in
because their hot is not our hot, right?
No,
it's like super hot.
It's a lot hotter. Yes.
Is that something that you had to
figure out, get
accustomed to? Like,
being married.
Yeah.
He would say, "It's not that hot," and then I'd bite it and
be like, "Oh my god, I hate you!
This is really hot." And then, then gradually I figured out, okay, so when he says it's not hot, it's actually hot, and when he says it's hot, it's actually very, very hot.
Yeah.
So now I'm a little more accustomed to heat. Like, I can take things a little hotter than, like, I think when we met, I was on jalapeno, but now I'm up to habanero.
And habanero is still, in the pepper world, kind of middle of the road.
I mean, now it is, because they have these, crossbred peppers with,
kill your mother. Right. Yeah, kill your mother pepper. Yeah.
Kill your mother pepper.
I'm going to copyright that tomorrow.
Kill your mother pepper.
I'm going to copyright that.
Exactly. But yeah, it was a thing, and it still is. But he makes a house-made hot sauce that people love. Now they ask for it. I want the house hot sauce.
Now, is he the kind of guy that, like, if someone like, this is the craziest, hottest hot sauce you'll ever have, he'll try it? No,
nope. Because it messes with his stomach. It messes with him as well. Just like anybody else. But he's not really into having hot things for hot sake.
So it's more about the flavor.
It's more about the flavor. Yeah.
See,
like if you were just a straight up he doesn't want to try anything ghost pepper because it's just that's just
it's not fun.
Too much heat for him. That that's just straight heat. It's not.
So is your house sauce habanero?
It is chili de árbol.
I don't even know that one.
Yeah,
is that hotter than a habanero? Like where
it is right under.
Oh, okay.
Habanero. Right, I think it go in Scoville units. It's right before habanero.
Nice. And what's the next thing that you want to bring onto the menu? Like what's on the verge where you're like, oh, I really looking.
Okay, so some things that I really want to bring on the menu are enchiladas.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do some enchiladas. I want to do some sort of ravioli, but I haven't figured out how. Yeah, I want to do a Mexican version of a ravioli.
So would you use a pasta, or would you try to do that with the tortilla?
I don't
or can you
think
do that with the
no, because there's not enough gluten in the corn flour. There's no gluten in the corn flour.
Yeah.
So I don't think you could make a ravioli with it, but I don't know. I'll figure out. I don't know. I'll do something.
So is a corn tortilla more traditional than a wheat? Or
than a flour?
Yeah, flour.
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that question because they eat both in Mexico. I think my husband grew up eating more corn than flour. That's my guess.
Yeah, because
it's just something that he makes all the time. Like he's only made flour tortillas a couple of times.
And so you guys make all your tortillas.
Yeah. So when you order a taco,
yeah,
we're back there pressing the tortilla.
So you make it to order.
Yeah, we make them to order. Because if they sit too long, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm never able to leave.
That's why when I mistook your time for 5:30, you almost cried.
Yeah,
you're like, wait, what?
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh no, that was my bad.
I was like, that's a little early.
I looked at the wrong line. That's my fault.
But yeah, it's a process. Like if they sit too long, they get kind of hard or chewy. And that was actually
I've had some that have been sitting on the store shelf for God only knows how long.
I know. Okay, so this is how it started.
Yeah.
When we first got married and we were shopping, and I'd go and pick out like corn tortillas off the shelf and be like, "No, those are bad." And I'm like, "What?" But they're. He's like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll get these ones." He's like, "No, those are bad." I'm like, "Okay, well, what is it? What do you want me to do? Like these are the corn tortillas that we have." He's like, "We have to make our own tortillas." I'm like, "Oh." So then
you weren't immediately like, shut up.
Yeah, no. I was like, okay. He's like, I'll show you.
I'd be like, there's a factory that does that.
Right. But I had a tortilla press because a friend of mine actually gave me one in anticipation of my marriage.
Marriage, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So we went home. He made them, and like he handed me the first one.
Yeah.
Right off the Kamal. And I ate it, and I was like, oh, this is what we have to do. Like literally, that was the moment because it was so delicious, and like I'm like people don't eat corn tortillas like this. They eat this stuff.
I mean, even like
stores.
when you go to a restaurant, I mean, things are changing here in town.
Yeah, things are changing.
But most of the time, Oh yeah. But you know, there are. I'm gonna call it a Tex-Mex place here in town.
Mm-hmm.
That it does a job. The place is busy, but I feel like if you go, it's. I don't think they're making their own.
No,
you know,
no, they're not.
And you know, do you find that? So here's the thing. So I find there's two types of people that eat food. There are the people that when you present them with something like a handmade corn tortilla, they're going to taste that and they're like, that is amazing. And then there's another branch of those people that you're going to hand that to and they go, it's not Taco Bell.
There's those people.
Do you get a lot of that kind of like,
We don't get a lot, but we do get a few. We get a few of the, you don't have flour tortillas or...
why isn't this just ground up
beef? Yeah, like you have ground beef.
Beef in air quotes. I've been to Taco Bell.
But yeah, there was. Don't
get me wrong. I'll eat Taco Bell again.
I mean, won't we all?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's terrible for you.
It is awful. But in a pinch,
don't.
Can you just edit this out?
No.
I've never eaten Taco Bell. No.
Los Jefes recommends Taco Bell. 5 stars.
I've eaten there. And I will probably eat there again in life at some point. It's just one of those things. It'll just happen.
Convenient.
It'll just happen.
Fast.
I will never drive there on my own. I will say this.
Okay.
The one or two times that I've been have been with a friend of mine because he'll smash Taco Bell.
I feel like if I eat Taco Bell, it's to excess and.
Like he
borderline,
ordered
like a
6
drunken
burritos.
Yeah.
I'll have, and then he goes, Nikki, what do you want? And I'm like, wait, one of those wasn't
that
for
wasn't
me?
For me. Funny story. I don't do fast food a lot, and one of the reasons why is my kids don't really care for it. They do like Taco Bell, and every once in a while they live in Bridgewater, so every once in a while, like I'll be taking them home, and I'll be like, "What do you guys want for dinner?" I'll be like, "Taco Bell." I'll be like, "All right, sure, whatever." And so Zoe was probably 10. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. And I'm driving him home. We stop at Taco Bell. I turn to my son. I'm like, "What do you want?" He's like, "I want 3 of the Dorito tacos." I'm like, "Ugh, okay." And I turn to Zoe. And I'm like, "What do you want?" She's like, "I want 6 tacos." I'm like, "You are not gonna eat 6 tacos." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll eat 6 tacos." I'm like, "You can really eat 6 tacos?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "All right, bring it."
I want to see this.
So we got a dozen tacos between the two of us. I was hurting. She sucked down 6 tacos.
She did.
And so I'm dropping them off and talking, open the door and I'm like, "Hey," saying hi to my ex-wife. And I'm like, "Oh, they've had dinner." And she's like, "They did?" I'm like, "Yep." So we had 6 tacos. Bye. And I just hear, "Aw, shit."
Yeah, that's not something you want to just drop on.
Yeah.
6 tacos. See ya.
So where you are so busy running a restaurant, are you more or less likely to do takeout and fast food now? Or is it just something that you kind of eat on the fly as you're busy working, you have an extra 10 minutes?
Okay, so I'm not opposed to fast food. It serves a purpose, and it definitely fits into my schedule sometimes. Especially Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Waffle fries.
How does Chick-fil-A fit in your... It's like an
my
hour
jam.
wait.
I know. Okay, this is an awful Chick-fil-A story.
Fuck that nonsense. I'll go to Wendy's.
Wendy,
right next door.
Okay, so this is what happened. My daughter and I, it was like a Thursday night, I want to say, and I get out early sometimes on Thursdays because there's another cook that comes in. And I'm like, all right, let's go to Chick-fil-A. She's like, yay, I want a strawberry shake. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever you want. It's like 9:30. So I get there, the line is a mile long, and I'm say to her, I'm like, are we going to do it? Are we going to? And this was my first, like, go to this Chick-fil-A. I'm like, are we going to do it? Are we going to wait in this line? She's like, or we could go to Wendy's. And
it's right there, man. Like,
and I go,
they have a great...
come on, I want...
For fast food, they have a great chicken sandwich. I am perfectly happy with their chicken sandwich.
I like Wendy's, too.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're going to stick it out. We waited in that line for 30 minutes, and we get to the window or the speaker box, and they're like, thank you for choosing Chick-fil-A. Sorry, we are closed. And I'm like, what?
Oh, I would have been so pissed.
Like, dude, you couldn't have put something up like behind the last car or something and be like,
little car magnet.
This is the last car. God damn it. I was so mad.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going
Wendy's, which you should have gone to in the first place.
Exactly. That's what she said. My daughter was like, see, we ended up going to Wendy's anyway.
See, I go to Wendy's because it's close to my work.
Do you want that Frosty?
I don't have to feed you every day. I go to Wendy's unoccasionally because it's close to my work. And other than that, the only real fast food is I'd say like once a month, I'll be coming home, I'll be like, I need McDonald's French fries.
Really?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Their French fries are so friggin' good.
I enjoy Wendy's French fries better, I believe.
Blasphemy.
I know. And I'd take a Chick-fil-A waffle fry over both of them any day.
I never had Chick-fil-A ever. I just won't wait in that line. Like, I don't have time.
There's not always a line.
Every time I'm near there, I work near there. Actually, they're putting in a... Now we're starting to talk
Jersey
about...
Mike's?
Yeah, the Jersey Mike's.
I saw the sign.
Oh, Jersey Mike's here. And I went and I'm like, why is everybody here wearing Jersey... I'm like, oh, it's training. They're not open.
Right.
Damn it.
Jersey Mike's.
I went to Wendy's.
So you went to Wendy's.
Since we're talking about franchises, would you ever consider a franchise of Los Jefes? Or would that be kind of like, you'd feel like you'd then start to lose quality or control?
I would definitely consider a franchise of Los Jefes, but not...
I'm not asking, like, I'm not...
No.
I'm not looking
You're not...
I'm going to open one right here, like, next to the craft beer cellar.
Well, it's a good thing you are, Nikki, because I have some paperwork now.
I'm opening one in South Plymouth.
No, I definitely would, just not the exact model that is right now. It would be a slightly different model.
Los Jefes.
Los Jefes.
Totally different.
Los Jefes.
We have crunchy flour tortillas.
But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I'm looking at things in long term, like that's, I mean, it's fun to open restaurants. And I mean, I had a good time opening this one and planning it, and I'm still having a good time. But in the long run, I want to be able to like sit and do nothing, and a franchise is that opportunity.
Sit and do nothing?
Yeah, dude, that's my jam.
Where's the fun in that?
Is being lazy. I don't know about everybody out there who's like, you gotta hustle and do this and do that. I'm like, yeah, I'll hustle. But at the end of the day, I'm hustling so that in like 10 years I can sit my ass somewhere and not do a fucking thing.
See, I feel like once a week, once every other week, I have to have a day where I'm like, all right, don't call me, don't text me.
Yeah, that doesn't happen for me.
Sit down and
does
decompress.
not happen for me anymore. Like, I cannot do that.
I don't have a restaurant.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, I'm not down on you. I'm jealous. Like, I can't do that yet.
Hey, the other night I had a cancellation and something. I went and did laundry. It was crazy.
Oh, laundry's like an ongoing, like, it's like my Everest. Like, I climb that mountain every fucking day. Like, I go home and do a load of laundry, and there's still like 10 loads.
See, I just look and be like, all right, I have no socks and one pair of underwear. It's 9:30. I have absolutely no choice.
I have a family, so I have to keep doing it. Like, I just go downstairs and I just put a load in, and then I put a load in the dryer, and then I go to bed. But, it's like it is my Everest. It's an ongoing thing.
How many kids do you have?
What?
And is she involved in Los Jefes? Does she want to be part of it? Is she like, no, I want to be a lawyer? And you're like, no son, no daughter of mine is going to be,
No, she was a part of it before we opened. She's 9. She was a part of it before we opened. We had her painting and cleaning and doing...
And there's these pesky child labor laws.
Right. So, I mean, in that regard, she was all up in it. But, like, now that it's open... She's more interested in playing and doing, going to the beach or...
Damn kids.
I know. But she's
You're
never...
9, get a job.
She's interested in cooking in the regard of eating at the end of the day. Like, she
likes to make herself food.
She likes to, or for me, or, or for family, but not anything where she's looking to entertain. She's a very... is a very science-y girl. Mm-hmm. She's always wanted to be an astronaut, like since the age of 3.
That's awesome.
Then she changed her mind.
Okay.
Because at 5 years old, she realized that her mom couldn't go to the moon with her, and she's like, "You can't come to space with me?" I'm like, "No." So then she was like, "I don't want to be an astronaut anymore." And then I'm like, "Okay, well," I'm sure you'll change your mind.
I was gonna say she changed back.
No, she got it into her head that she wanted to still be involved in astrophysics, just not astronautics. So she doesn't want to travel, but she'll, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's her jam, right?
Oh, he's the best,
right?
I love him.
She loves him.
Yeah,
like, she'll watch.
How can you not?
Right?
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there's people. There's always people that don't love.
Not important people. Not anyone that matters.
But yeah, she's that girl.
Yeah,
she's gonna do something.
That's awesome.
Magnificent. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, my son told me, because he plays the saxophone, and I'm like, oh, do you want to be a musician? This, that, and the other thing. This was a couple years ago, and he's like, no, I'm more science minded, and I'm like, oh, okay. So what he wants to go into forensics.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, that's like dealing with dead bodies, buddy. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it could be like, dealing with blood.
Yeah. Well, those come from bodies. It was more icky. I was like, ugh. Yeah.
You're like, why, dude?
No, I get it. And he's a smart kid. So
does he watch CSI?
He does. But the school he's in, he goes to school in Bridgewater, and they offer a forensics class.
Get out!
Yeah, and I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, the final, they bring in a pig, and we have to determine how the pig died.
Get the fuck out of here!
And I was like, barbecue. I'm like, what do you do after that?
One track mind.
Yeah. So it's very cool. He's taken some criminal law, and it's really not.
How old is he?
He just turned 17.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
He's gonna be looking at like colleges and stuff. He's like,
and there's a
adult.
high school that has forensic science.
Yeah. Wow. And he was telling me a story about how the teacher would bring in spent bullet casings, so they can kind of like examine them, whatever, and then of course, because of
what kind of teacher is this? How is this teacher?
I mean, she goes to the gun range and she fires off.
Okay, all right.
But then because of the day and age we live in, they wouldn't even allow her to do that.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, it's a forensics class.
You can't bring in spent cases to your forensics class?
Yeah. So I'm like, that's a bummer. He's like, yeah. He's like, I was kind of bummed out. But
wow.
But kids are fun. Yeah.
Kids are fun.
I'm very excited because both of mine are becoming adults.
Yeah.
And it's a trip.
Yeah. I'm not there yet.
You'll see. You're not far off.
Yeah, she's growing up pretty quickly. I think for me, what's bothering me right now is that I just don't have the time to spend with her that I want.
Yeah. Oh, that is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you try to schedule time to be like...
I do.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work out because... things just aren't as reliable as they should be right now. But I think we live down the street from my mom, and so that's very convenient where like her grandma's right there. Mm-hmm. Like it's literally 4 houses down. But I miss her, and people ask me, like, in the restaurant, like, how's Eva? And I'll be like, I don't know. Where is she? I'm like, I don't know.
Let me check Instagram.
No,
why is she in Spain?
Right? I'm totally anti social media for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't do it. She wants to do, like, a YouTube channel, and I'm like, I don't know.
At 9? That's, yeah.
No. I mean, kids do it.
Sure, yeah.
But I just don't. There's too many weird people out there. I'm just like, nope, I'm not ready for that yet. Yeah. I'm not ready to sit and watch and see who's viewing your stuff and just I'm cupping my face right now.
Why does your video have 40,000 views? Like, it should have 6.
Right, exactly.
Me, your dad, your grandmother.
Exactly. Yeah. Your 2 best friends and your cousin. Yeah, that's basically it. Like, I'm like, nope. No, she wants a phone. She wants to do this. I'm like, no, not yet. Be young.
Yeah.
Be young and stupid. Run around and play. Use your skateboard.
It's such a different time. Like, we were just...
It really is.
Our last interview, he's a sports writer now. He's in college. But we met him when he was, like, 12. And it's just so weird to see this kid who that, like, I remember as being, like, wanting to draw comic books, and his parents were very supportive, so they kind of like made sure that he met artists and got involved in that sort of thing. And then to see him now, he's like, I've been writing more or less professionally for 4 years.
Wow.
And I'm like, you're not old enough to drink. And it's like,
yeah,
it's just nice to see like someone kind of get exposed to that and be able to kind of get a jump start on things. Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, there's so many things that are just so accessible for everyone.
It's cool and scary.
It is cool and scary. Yeah, in that regard. Like, so I'm still. I don't want to stifle my daughter at all. Like, I want her to grow.
I just don't want her to do anything that's going to freak me out.
I just don't want her to be in the outside world with other people.
It's not weird. I just don't want you to talk to people.
Exactly.
Go back in the closet.
Yeah, exactly. Stay in the basement, and everything will be fine.
So where can people go to find out more about Los Jefes?
You can go to our Facebook page, which is, facebook.com/Los Jefes Eats.
You want to spell Jefes for those of us who got a D in Spanish?
Is spelled Jefes. And it's not Jeff's.
Do you get that a lot?
Jefes. Oh, yeah.
What's Los Jefes?
Wait a second.
I love Los Jefes. Los Jefes is a great
When
place.
we were doing pop-ups, was, which one of you is Jeff? I'm like, well, it's not me. And then I go, and it's not him either. Which one of you is Jeff?
As you served the taco, you should have been like, the cow was Jeff.
The chicken. Chicken's name was Jeff.
We lost the T. It was Lost Jeff.
Yes. Yeah, so. Or you can go to... Do
you have a www?
Yeah, LosJefesEats.com.
And you guys are located in North Plymouth. It's easy to find. Reasonably easy parking, which is a great thing in Plymouth.
Okay, so here's the deal on parking. We have the lot across the street after 5 p.m. on weekdays.
Okay.
But we have the church lot, which is 2 doors down, like two doors down on the same side of the street that we are. We have that church lot anytime.
And there's on-the-street parking, which is 2 hours? 2 hours there?
No. There's no time limit in North Plymouth. As long as you feel you can leave your car on the street is...
See, I felt like there was a sign that said, like, 2 hours.
No.
Maybe I'm just accustomed to Plymouth. Where
yeah,
I'm like,
you are.
I have to move my car. I
know. I was worried tonight parking because I was like, it's 2 hour
7.
parking.
It's cool. We're after 7.
And I was like, oh, it's 7:17. Boom.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we were doing the ballet around the block. I look in my rearview mirror. I'm like, oh, there's Nikki.
Yeah. I passed you. Like, it's like, oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just going around again. Yeah, I was paying attention to your blinker. I was like, did he snake a spot? Is he finding a lot? Where's he going?
I was like, screw it. I'm going to the place where I know it's going to be empty. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Parking's cuckoo in this town.
Well, they're digging up the street, too, which makes it worse. But
what is all that about?
I don't. Yeah, see, you missed that experience of like...
I did.
Yeah.
And I do. But not really.
By miss, I mean you didn't get to experience.
Right,
not
exactly.
like, no, I wish I could have the street torn up in front of my business for the summer.
No.
Yeah.
That's got to be awful for places down here.
And honestly, where your first year business, that's really great.
Exactly.
When I opened my first business way back in the day, snow almost killed me.
Really?
It snowed every 3 days.
Oh.
And so, like, you had the day where it snowed, where no one would come out.
Was that 2014? 2015?
No. It was...
In the 90s?
No, it was 2000s, probably 2004? Ballpark?
I wasn't here then.
Yeah. And so, like, you'd have the day it snowed, no one would come out. The day after, people were starting to, like, dig out and start to catch up on things. The third day, they would start to kind of filter back in, and then it would snow again. Almost shut me down. It was brutal. But
yeah, I don't know what this winter is going to bring. It's going to be...
It'll be interesting.
And
it's New England. It'll never be dull.
Yeah. And, of course, we're responsible for clearing the sidewalk and the drive, and so I'm just... That whole bit I'm not really looking forward to. But...
That's when you're like, Los Jefes, I'm the boss. You guys get out there.
Yeah, well,
shovel some
that's
shit.
When we hire. We have hired people come in and
guys
move
out there
this
like, I was supposed to be the dishwasher.
Yeah, hey, get it in. Yeah. No matter what, like whatever has to be done, we got to do.
It's all part of the business. Yeah,
exactly.
So, well, we're looking through for great things from you guys.
Awesome, thank
you.
And
I can't wait to get back down there and try something else.
Yeah, try one everything on the menu. Let's go every time you come in.
I'll just start off the top.
Have you had tried the nachos yet?
No. I stopped in there one time. I had chips and salsa.
Yep.
And 3 tacos.
That's right.
So
try some nachos.
I'll have to try them. What's on the nachos? Do you put like pulled pork, or is it just kind of like straight nachos?
No, you can get the nachos with carnitas, short rib, chicken. Yeah.
You're talking my language.
Yes, and then on Tuesdays we do brisket, so you can get brisket nachos, and those are pretty damn good. And I like to, so the nachos were my creation where I layered the nachos. I call it fat girl style.
Okay. Can I order fat girl style?
Yeah. Well, no, they all come fat girl style.
I'm still gonna order it that way.
Where you have a layer of chips, and then you have cheese and beans, and then you get another layer of chips, and then you get more cheese, and then the meat, and then the rest of the toppings. So once you get down underneath that first layer, you still got to dig out that second layer of cheese and beans. So just
sounds
it's a little
amazing.
surprise.
I'm still ordering a fat girl style. Just so the bartender can be like, and walk away and be like, some crazy guy ordering fat girl style nachos.
So I did that like at the movie theater once, and I was like, the kid's like, you want popcorn? I'm like, yeah, but fat girl style. I want you to put fucking popcorn, butter, popcorn, and butter.
So I'm going to tell you a funny story about weird table requests that make sense in a very, very narrow window. So my father used to work at a Catholic high school in Kingston, and we lived in Whitman. About halfway between the two was Pub 104, Pub 106, Pub 106, 4, 6. All right, Pub 106. And that was like his stop every day. He'd stop off, have a beer, whatever. And, you know, you get to know the bartenders, shoot the shit back and forth. And one of the bartenders would always ask him, "Where's your wife?" And he'd be like, "I keep her home chained in the basement." So fast forward a few years later, he had passed away. That bartender had opened a restaurant, the East Bridgewater, West Bridgewater line. At the time, it was called Nutty Irishman. I don't know what it's called now. And so somehow, you know, my mother had met her eventually, and, you know, funny story. You know, "Oh, you're out of the basement tonight," whatever. And so we went to the restaurant with me, my wife at the time, and my mother, and she figured out who the owner of the restaurant was, and the waitress is like, "Oh yeah, she's in back. She used to work at Pub 106. And my mother just looks at this poor waitress and goes, "Tell the woman chained in the basement's here." And the waitress is like, "Okay." Goes back in the kitchen. She's like, "There's some woman here that says she was chained in the basement." And the owner goes, "Oh my God, she's here!"
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I love stuff like that. So again, thank you, Nikki, for
having me.
Our last minute venue change. And
no worries. It was totally fun.
And we're looking forward to more Mexican,
American
Mexican. Raviolis or whatever you're whipping up down there.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
All I know is I'm friggin' hungry now.
Right? I know this place.
Do you?
Yeah. They
Taco
serve till
Bell?
10. Yeah, Taco Bell.
I think that's it. Thanks for listening. Okay, thanks for checking out the podcast. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts on the Inebri-art Podcast Network. There's the Bar Talk. There's Old Colony Cast. There's, of course, the Inebri-art Podcast. And our latest, Retro Redoctopus, a kind of nerd genre podcast that you can check out now, all available on our website at inebri-art.com. And pretty much available everywhere that podcasts are available, on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all those things. And if you don't see it where you're looking, let us know. We'll try to get onto that as well. And you can also email us at inebri-art@yahoo.com with your questions, complaints, and suggestions. And also, if you could take the time to rate and review us on iTunes, that would be phenomenal. That helps us get more exposure and bring more of these great podcasts to your ears. And thanks again for listening.